Hey guys, welcome back to HyperTora. I've got my Tokyo Treat box here for May. It's actually arrived super early this month. I think since Christmas is now over, well and done with. I think they're finally catching up, and because I'm on prepaid orders, it actually ships before the beginning of the month for me, which is quite useful for you guys when I'm unboxing, because it means this box for May, you've got till the end of April to get what's inside this box if you want it. But don't leave it too late, because I think some people occasionally get replacement items if they order too late in the month when they run out of certain things. But let's open this up and see what we have inside. Now, if you do get this box and it's your first time, there is a discount code you can use down below to get, I think, about $5 off, or up to $5 off, depending on the size of the box that you order. That's only valid for new customers. If you are an existing or previous customer, they will eventually find out and cancel the code. But yeah, what do we have? So we've got May, which is Tutti Frutti, which sounds pretty cool because I like fruity things and sweet things. So that's been a really pretty funky box, and the colouring in here looks nice and sort of pink and greeny. So that's going to be pretty funky to try out. And there should be, if I open this up on our page of information for all the different items, I think one of the drinks in here was what was originally meant to be last month's drink, which is now this month's drink, because they got the Sakura Cola or Pepsi, whichever one it was. I think it was Cola. They wanted to put it in last month's box, so this month we've actually got what should have been last month's. But let's delve into this and see what we have. So, starting off, we've got some Calbee chips, potato chips here, and they look like they're pizza flavoured. I don't need to look at the booklet for that one. That's pretty funky. I think we've had a few pizza things before, maybe in some of the American boxes I used to unbox. So that's pretty funky. It'd be interesting to see what the Japanese version of these are. Vaguely, I don't think we've had pizza. I may have, but I can't remember us having pizza flavoured crisps for a long time in Tokyo Treat if we did. So that's pretty cool. And that's from the classic box. And it's pizza mayo manteco chips, so that's a pretty specific flavour as well. Next up, we have some matcha green tea puff snacks. We've had these puff snacks before, but we haven't had matcha, as far as I'm aware, so that'd be interesting to try out. I think it'd be interesting to see how they're like. Some matcha things can be quite strong and bitter, some things are quite sweet. Normally these things are quite sweet. If you've ever been to Japan, taking part in a tea ceremony, you find the actual matcha they use there, or the green tea, is very bitter. It tends to put you off having green tea products for a little while, but I'm hoping I'm over that now. But that's a premium item box, so that'd be an interesting one to try out. Next up, we have what looks like some fruity mochi, which is going to be really cool, because we've had some DIY mochis before, but we don't often get proper kind of mochi sweets. These are obviously little mini ones with a sweet filling, which I'm assuming is strawberry based on the packaging. But in Japan you get larger ones of these. It's made out of rice, and they're pretty cool. They have things like red bean filling, you can get cherry blossom flavoured ones, so they're pretty cool. And that's from the classic box. Next up, we have what looks like to be some little mini cookies or biscuits. So this is Chobo Chubu cookies. Yeah, it says in the booklet here, but these will melt in your mouth. They do look quite light. And this is obviously a new product, so that's pretty cool. It's really nice to actually have some fresh things inside some of these boxes. Next up, we've got our Amiibo. We get these in every box now. So this is a classic item as well. And this is sugar rusk flavour. So I think it's just full of sugary, crunchy goodness. So I'm not sure if that means this is a plain one, just with the football on the front there. Last month's one, I think a lot of people were commenting on the video who got the box. We've had various different suggestions of flavourings, which is pretty cool, from ginger ale all the way through to bubble gum. So that's pretty funky. Next up, this looks like a DIY kit. Yeah, so it's quite small for a DIY. Sometimes they're normally quite large. So this is a strawberry soft cream DIY snack, which is pretty cool. I think we've had similar stuff to this before. It's going to be a little ice cream cone. We mix some water with some powder and it'll foam up, and we can fill up the cone with them. So they're pretty cool. It'd be nice to see where it says soft cream, so sometimes some of these can be a bit soury where they make the foam, so it'd be nice to see if that comes out a little bit creamier. Next up, we've got some little gummy candies. Quite enjoy these normally. We've had these before, but not in a very long time. And what interests me is sometimes when you get these, they actually have the front of a cell phone on them. I'm not entirely sure why. And they tend to match these things up with buttons. So they're pretty cool. And that looks like it's going to be cherry flavoured or cherry blossom. So this is from the classic box, and it says cherry Mochi squares. So I don't think it's going to quite be the same as this kind of Mochi. I think this is going to be more of a sweet gummy than Mochi, but it'd be interesting to find out. Next up, we have what looks like a Hello Kitty lollipop. So this is a strawberry lollipop from the premium box. I think they're reasonably self-explanatory. If you love Hello Kitty, then obviously that's pretty cool. I imagine the lollipop itself is just the same as the shape on the packaging there, so nothing too special about the actual lollipop itself. Next up, we have what looks like some savoury snacks. This is an item, I think, from the classic box. Oh no, this one's from the premium box. So this is new, if I can pronounce this, Mochi puffs. So it looks like this is something different, new to try. I don't know what, it doesn't say what the flavouring is. And it doesn't say what kind of puffs they are, whether they're wheat or something else, or rice. So they'll be interesting to open up and actually see what they are, because I've not seen them before. Next up, we have some little ramen-y, noodle-y things. So this is definitely a classic box item. So these are Dorado crispy flakes. So they're almost like little dried up noodles, essentially, that are sort of cut up. Always reminds me a little bit of Bombay mix, but with the little strands in it. But these are a little bit thicker. So they'll be interesting to try. And it looks like it's going to be some sort of curry-ish flavour maybe. Next up, we have, I'm actually loving this box because I absolutely love fruity things. We have strawberry flavoured snack. So this is from the classic box. This is Ginzarusk pink strawberry biscuits. So that's obviously going to be strawberry flavoured. I think they're going to be pink, and it might have a kind of chocolatey topping, possibly looking at that. We'll actually find out when we open this up in a minute. Next up, we have some caramel corns. So we've definitely had these before. Sometimes we get various flavours of these. Usually they come in a bigger pack, so it's quite nice to get these in a smaller packet because they can be quite sugary. So this is from the classic box. They're caramel corns. I don't know what too much to say about these. They're pretty funky. It's nice to get these in small packets, so usually I don't tend to want to eat an entire massive bag of these at once on my own. So getting these like this is pretty cool as a kind of share or party pack. There. Next up, they've been teasing these online. We have some KitKats, but they're a combination of Sakura, which is cherry blossom, and sake, which is Japanese rice wine, which is pretty cool. I've had some Japanese KitKats before. If you go back in my channel quite a few years back, I did a KitKat video with some friends where we taste tested a load of different flavoured KitKats. One of those was sake flavoured, but I don't think one of them, I'm not sure if we had cherry blossom as one of the flavours. But I think this is relatively new, it's an actual combination. So I think that's going to be pretty funky to try. I quite enjoyed the sake ones last time, and Sakura is one of my favourite Japanese flavourings, after melon flavouring, so that's going to be pretty cool to try out. And again, I love the fact that we get a nice big box of these, or a nice big bag of these, because I can eat quite a few of them, or if you're feeling very generous, you can share them with your friends, or if you're like me, you'll probably keep them to yourself if you really, really like them. And then finally, our last item in this box is our drink, which is from the premium. This were the KitKats. So this is a Fanta drink, and it's Fanta yogurt banana mix. So we've not had something like this before, which is quite nice. There's quite a few things in this box that we've not had before, or if we've had it, there are different flavours. So this is pretty cool. This was meant to be in last month's box, as I said earlier, but they replaced it with the Sakura flavoured Coca-Cola. So we knew this was coming, they let us know. So this is going to be pretty funky to try out. And that's all the stuff in the box, so I'll actually start with this. Now it is carbonated, and when it's been through shipping in Japan, you do want to be slightly careful. It does have a very candy banana smell to it, which is quite nice. It's a bit like banana milkshake flavour in smell. That's really nice. It's a little bit weird. It's a bit like banana milkshake. I think more than banana yogurt, but fizzy, and not. It's not in a bad way. It's quite refreshing actually. It's not like a very strong, thick milkshake. It's just that kind of that flavouring, but in a fizzy drink. So that's really nice actually. I quite enjoy that, and I think I definitely have that again. Next up, we'll try out our Ginzarusk strawberry snacks, because I want to see what these actually look like. So, they almost look like little cuts of a baguette, which is pretty funky. They're pink, they smell very fruity and strawberry. They're really nice. Obviously the flavouring that's really nice and strawberry. I think there's a bit of chocolate mixed in with it there to give it that flavouring. So that's a really nice addition to the box. Next up, we'll give this a go. There wasn't much information on these other than the fact that they're puffs. So they do look like puffs we've had before. So for the new, maybe it's just the packaging, branding, or the flavouring. They're pretty plain. Plain and salted. I was almost going to say a hint of soy sauce, but I don't quite think that's in there. So it's just a plain salted puff stack, which is quite nice. I think it's not too rich like some of the soy sauce ones we get. So that's pretty moreish actually. I think that's the kind of thing you could sit a snack on quite easily if you're having a drink down the pub. But yeah, next up we got our caramel corns. I should break one off. So we've had these before. It's been a little while since we've had plain caramel corns. So some of the ones we get with these with different flavourings are usually quite white, because these are just your normal caramel corns. They're kind of caramelly in colour. And they're quite sweet as well, which is really nice while they're in these small packets. You don't have too many of them at once. Next up, we'll check out our Hello Kitty Lollipop. Yeah, so inside this, it's just a normal standard lollipop. Smells like strawberry. Tastes like strawberry. I think it's going to be pretty much the same as any lollipop that you know about at the shop. I suppose the special thing about this for Japan is it's Hello Kitty packaged there. So if you're a Hello Kitty fan, or you've got kids that like Hello Kitty, that will probably go down quite well with them. Next up, we got another savoury snack, which is our Amiibo. And usually this one doesn't have a hole in the centre, which most of them do. But it smells quite creamy. I'm not sure what to make of that. It's quite sugary. I think it's quite plain. It might be just be a plain sugary Amiibo compared to your normal kind of puff. It does taste quite sweet, but that's different to some of the ones I've had before. So it's an interesting try. It's always interesting trying out the different Amiibos each month, because they're usually different flavours. Next up, we've got our Mochi and our little Mochi. I'm going to try our little ones first, because I have a feeling they're going to be more like gummies than proper Mochi. But because they're cherry flavoured, I think I'm going to quite like these. So they are sort of sealed there, so unfortunately I've had to tear that. You get a little toothpick with these, which you can just stab into them. And they're quite solid, which is why I say I think they're going to be more like gummies than the Mochi, which they say on the packaging. Funny enough, actually, that while it's a gummy, It actually tastes like cherry or cherry blossom mochi, which I've had in Japan before. So that's really nice. I think the mochi actually is more to the flavouring. Like, it actually tastes like mochi rather than actually being the consistency of mochi. So next up we actually have our proper mochi, which is strawberry flavoured. Which usually means sometimes there's a filling. So this is usually made by pounding rice into a very kind of paste that looks like this. This kind of consistency. They're really nice, they're quite squidgy. I think my first occurrence of these was when I was in Japan, was actually dessert version of these, which was ice cream in the centre. And since then I've actually absolutely loved these. So we got our mochi on the outside, which is the made from rice. And then on the inside you've got a strawberry filling and almost like a marshmallowy kind of centre around that, just to separate the mochi and the strawberry filling. And they're absolutely lovely. That's amazing. I could eat those all day, so I wish there was more than just 2 in there. Up next we have our little snacks here, which are a little bit like noodles. So it's hard to sort of show those on camera, but they're like little noodle strips that have been cut down. So they do taste a bit like a kind of chickeny, whatever that is on the front there, some sort of chicken noodle, curry-ish style drink. They're really nice. Again, that's the kind of thing you might sit there if you're at a pub and just snack on quite easily, or if you're taking packed lunches somewhere, that's quite a nice little thing just to put on a table and snack while you're having lunch. Next up we have our little cookies, which supposedly melt in the mouth. They smell quite sweet and they're quite light as well. They remind me of the little melon pan cookies we get occasionally. They're quite crunchy, and a little bit sweet. There's quite a plain flavour to them. There's no flavouring to them other than just I think the plain cookie with a little bit of sugar glaze. Not that that's a bad thing. It's quite nice actually. That's pretty cool. Next up we have our green tea or matcha snack. So matcha chocolate corn puffs, which usually means they're a little bit sweeter. There is unfortunately only about that much in the bag when you get the air out. But I imagine for shipping these you need a reasonable amount of air in them anyway. They're quite green, which is one of the things you get with the green tea, which is pretty funky. Because if you go to Japan, green tea stuff's everywhere. You can get it in ice cream, all different colours. Like, bright green you always know is pretty much green tea, or almost always. It's quite light, it's not a bitter green tea, it's quite sweet. I'd say it's about the same strength of flavour if you've had green tea KitKats before. So it's not subtle, you can taste it, it's there, but it's not going to knock you off and put you off green tea, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have our pizza chips here, which I'm quite looking forward to trying. Oh, they smell really nice. So, get a bigger chip out. So we got that there. You can see the kind of cheese over that actually. They've almost deliberately sort of melted cheese onto it, which is pretty cool. It smells a bit like, I don't know if pizza smells more like a cheesy crisp, but yeah. That's really nice. It does actually taste a fairly good amount like pizza. It's a little bit odd after eating the green tea matcha puffs. So if you do get this box at home and you're eating these, I do recommend snacking on things gradually rather than like I do with the unboxing videos where I do them all at once. Because I think there was a little bit of a weirdness when I first ate that. But they're pretty cool actually. They're really nice. If you like really cheesy pizza, that's going to be really cool for you. Next up, we have our KitKats, right before we do our DIY. So, oh, I can smell, as soon as you open that packet, I can smell the sake. It smells very alcoholic, which does make me wonder if I think sake KitKats do have a very, very small percentage in them. I can't remember what it is, and the packaging on this is entirely Japanese, so I cannot read it anywhere, but it's possibly on there. So yeah, but it's quite a strong smell. If you've had sake before, you'll recognise that smell as soon as you open the packaging. If you've not had these little KitKats before, or if you're new, then you might actually find these on the back. In Japan, it's traditional, I normally say this every month, to actually give these to people and write messages on them, especially for exams, as like a good luck charm, which is a pretty funky thing. But I'm not sure I'd want to give a KitKat, a sake flavoured KitKat to a person taking an exam. But yeah, so let's open this up and see what it's like. So surprisingly, considering the packaging there smells a lot more like sake, this smells a little bit more like the Cherry Blossom Sakura, with that slight hint of sake alcohol smell. It's nice and pink, which obviously comes from the cherry blossom. And let's give it a go. It took me 2 bites of that to really get a full handle on this KitKat. It's you can taste the Sakura in there, you can taste the sake as well, blended together. It's quite an unusual or different taste. It's not something I've blended together before. It's quite nice actually. It definitely tastes alcoholic through the sake, but I imagine because it's a candy, it's probably not a very high percentage. It's more the flavouring. If you've not had sake before, it's going to be a lot different to other drinks you've had. But yeah, that's really nice. That gets my approval. That's a really nice item to have in the box, especially because I love cherry blossom flavoured items, because we don't always get Sakura stuff in here, so that's really nice. And then finally we have our little DIY candy. I'm going to open it up. Okay, so in here we have a little sachet, a kind of mixing pad. We've got 3 little cones and a little spoon. So usually you have to be a little bit careful with these because they're quite fragile. You can probably break them pretty easily. So they do quite well to come through these boxes relatively undamaged. Yeah, so if you can read Japanese, you can read the back of the instructions on the back of the packet, or you can go into the booklet here, which has the instructions in it. Tokyo Treat didn't used to do this back in the day, but they've did this, I think this is the 41st volume, which means I've been with Tokyo Treat for quite a while now. But yeah, you get your English instructions there, which is great, because I used to have to Google and YouTube instructions, which is quite hard to find. So we want to put the powder into the tray, and there's a mixture of pink and white in here. So I imagine the pinky ones are kind of the flavouring, and the whites are kind of foam, or probably a mixture of the same stuff but different colours, just to make it a little bit lighter. So we've got 2 teaspoons of water in the tray. I haven't brought a teaspoon with me, unfortunately, so I'm going to guess roughly how much that is, which from the picture looks like they're guessing as well. I can probably use the little spoon to help me, because this is definitely smaller than a teaspoon, I think. But let's do a few of those. Give that a mix. I can always add more later, but we use the spoon to mix it up until it goes nice and foamy. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't really need much more water in there than what I just put in, which is pretty cool. So the nice thing about the different colours, actually, those little powder granules is that it's actually a white foam with little pink spots in it. I don't know whether it's intentionally like that or if it's just because I haven't mixed it very well. But I think that's pretty cool. It smells lovely like strawberry, which is what the flavour is meant to be there. So we'll take a spoonful of this and try and make our little ice cream cone. A little bit floppy, so maybe I could have used a little bit less water. But there we go, our little ice cream cone. It's quite nice. The foam's a bit like your normal DIY candy foam. It's got a little bit of sharpness to it, very light, so it won't bother most people. It's pretty nice. It's pretty airy as well, so why they taste quite sweet. I don't imagine it's as bad as having something that's just a very thick sugary substance. But then again, you could say things like cotton candy are quite airy and there's a lot of sugar in those. But yeah, that's everything inside this box. If you want to get this box, again, like I said earlier, you can get this box, it's May's box, up until the end of April. If you do get it and you're a first-time subscriber, do go down below and find a discount code for your first time. Don't use that if you're a previous customer. They do find out, they do deactivate the code off of your account after a while. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you particularly enjoyed watching this, please do hit the like button down below. Let me know down in the comments what kind of items you liked in this box, or if you're getting this box, what you thought of some of these when you tried them. It's not as outrageous, this box, in terms of flavours with some of the stuff we've had before, so I wouldn't say there's anything in there that would put me off, which is pretty cool. Nothing like the fizzy soup that we've had before. But yeah, comment down below, let me know what your favourite item is. It's always interesting to see what you guys think about the items in the box, especially if you get them, what you think about them. Be interesting to see what you guys think about the sake KitKats with the Sakura flavouring in them. And if you open these up when you get them, let me know if you get that whiff of alcohol into your face as you did it as well, which is pretty cool. But other than that, thank you for watching. Please do hit the like button down below. Please do hit the subscribe button as well if you enjoyed watching and you want to see more unboxing videos. Guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.